welcome to where the furniture isn't always the best, but them views, they are amazing.
It's a 13 for y'all. 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 It's a 13 for y'all.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 13th floor where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. I am your host this week, Coach K, and I am here with my three guys this week. Mr. Brett is out there changing diapers or something.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
know what he's doing, but hey, glad you can listen to the show, buddy. But who I do have here today, I have Mr. Logistics, BJ. What's happening, sir?
We all good down here in South Florida, baby.
Okay. That's all you got for the people this week?
That's what I got, man. I look, it's been a crazy week and a half, but I'm here. We ready to go. Trying to stay positive and move forward with all the crazy shenanigans in the world, man.
What you mean
10 with a
what
10.
you mean trying to stay positive, man? What is that about?
Man, it seems like everybody on the outside, them outside forces be coming at you at one time, trying to change your attitude.
Okay.
I think we're gonna get in that a little bit later on too. So
We'll get into that. Also, this week in his little Yoda shirt, which his name is not Yoda, Groku. Is that his name? I think that's his name.
Grogu, is it Grogu or Groku?
Grogu. Yeah, whatever. Rue.
That's the one thing I think I did pick up from this.
This is the way, baby. This is the way.
Yeah, Faison, what's going on with you, man?
Man, I almost didn't make it today. I almost didn't. I was laying on the floor. This headache came back again. I think I'm trying to figure out now. It's definitely some kind of food thing. So I'm gonna narrow down the choices over the next 2 days and see if it pops in. So we'll see. But right now I'm here, still smiling, still enjoying myself. But happy to enjoy myself. But before we move on to Diddy, I have to ask that if you are watching this on YouTube, please click the like button, subscribe. We're still trying to grow that base. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So help us get there. Your subscription counts.
All right.
Just like that.
Something's different about your background today. I don't know what it is, but you changed something.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, just the camera. The camera's just zoomed in.
The camera's zoomed in? Okay, that's what it is. All right.
We could see more of the McDowell's crew.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Fresh. What's going
Yes,
on?
sir. Man, had some new beginnings start this week, but we just in here doing what we do, staying, me, I'm in a spaceship. That's right. I work for NASA. We out here, man.
Okay. All right. That's all you got, man.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been in it, so I'm a little, while I'm still fresh evaded, I'm a little tired, yo. So up here in it's low oxygen out here, and you got to do what you got to do. But we still here, we still scratching and surviving. Good time.
Okay. How's that liquid food?
What liquid food? Oh man, we ain't got no liquid food tonight.
There's nothing better than astronaut ice cream. That's the best.
Astronaut ice cream.
Yeah. The free trial ice cream you get from the Science Museum when you go.
I think I've had that one time in my life.
Every time I go there, even as an adult. Just let me get 3 of those.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question, man. So I was listening to not even the radio. I listened to Tidal the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys name 3 positive male anthems?
3 positive male anthems.
Blown out by City Girls. I'm just kidding.
I'm about to say B's ain't S but O's and T's By the Dog Pound Gangsters.
J. Cole. I mean, he's not currently, but J. Cole's album probably has a bunch of them on there. I can't
Probably.
recall a
You
name.
don't even have to name a current one. Just name 3.
Middle Child.
Who?
Middle Child from J. Cole. That was pretty positive, I think.
It's a positive male anthem, though. That's what you
A
would say.
male anthem,
there's
like
no
something that,
anthem,
that like
has there ever been an anthem for a man other than "It's a Man's World" from James Brown? Like, what other anthems have there been for men?
that's not even a male anthem.
Right, exactly. So I did it purposely because I was going to the woman's part. But is there any maybe Contagious from Ron Owsley? I don't know. There's not many male
Contagious,
anthems.
like
Just throwing out the
let's define
random.
Just anything, yo.
Throw it to a wall. Throw it to a wall.
Bust a Move by Young MC.
I mean, I was thinking about it today. I'm like, after You Will Know by what was it, United Black Men back in the day?
Yeah. Yep.
That's the only one I came up with.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's a male anthem? It's
Well,
not that it's not a happy
positive
song.
song.
It
It's a
exactly.
positive
Yeah,
song.
you're just thinking of that's like saying all right, but all right isn't a male anthem. It is a positive song, but it isn't a male anthem.
I guess we don't really have any because we don't technically in the.
But I don't feel like we think in that direction.
Great
Like
question.
I don't, you know what I mean? I've never.
I
can't-
another one. I got another one. What can a brother do for me?
Yeah.
Is
That
it-
was Tank,
Yeah,
Tyrese,
Tank.
Yep.
RL.
whoever.
Well, was
That was around college.
was
Yeah, that was
that's Best Man.
TTG or whatever their name was.
Yeah.
Well, that was RL. RL was the other one.
Yep. There you go.
But what was that an anthem? Wasn't that Best Man?
I mean, that
Soundtrack?
was
That's the best. That's the best that he can do.
that's all we
Best
got.
man. I'm really trying to think.
Yo, if anybody out there listening, just drop some in the comments.
But that's what I was gonna say is I don't feel like we think in anthems as much as we think in themes, right? Because I feel like I'm more of the moment that I need that song for, so it's like a theme for that moment. I don't feel
Yeah.
like I ever really think about it in like, hey, this is all us guys, let's get together and do the guy dance.
There's like nothing. I mean, but it's just sad though. I mean, when you think about female anthems, there are so many.
What a Man. Salt and Pepper.
But
What
I
a
feel
man.
like they think
Yes.
like that.
What a Man.
No,
That's
no.
not for us to sing, but it's about us and it's uplifting.
Man,
Oh, listen,
please don't get your mic cut off tonight, sir. Maybe that headache's still going on.
If you tear that song apart, it's about attributes and things. It ain't about
Exactly.
yeah.
man
It's
in
not
the
an
mirror.
anthem. It's not an
Man in the
anthem.
mirror.
That's
Michael Jackson?
that's like the man in the mirror. I don't think so. I mean, no, man. So like, what a man is like the
I got one.
what a man is like the precursor to Soldier from Destiny's Child.
That's just very true. One man could change the world. Big Sean and Kanye West.
Change the world. Yeah. I'm trying to think of something that's just like for us though, like it's for us.
Okay. Hope you guys are ready. I went ahead and everything deserves a what? A good Google, baby.
What you got?
I tried to
He's
tell
not
y'all
heavy.
this.
He's
First
not
off-
heavy. He's my brother.
First off, I just want to tell everybody, and I try to reiterate this as much as possible. Understand Google is an amazing resource. While you do have to check your facts, it is still an amazing resource all the same. You can do, learn, and create a lot through Google. Boom, the more you know.
I'm just mad we gotta
Anyway,
Google it. Just the fact that we have to Google it is a problem.
yeah, I'm about to say it already is.
I'm digging right now. I'm like, oh man, they got R. Kelly right here. Well, we can't.
So I am on goodmenproject.com, and it actually says finally ... the top 10 male anthems. Now we will see how melanated these answers will become. What is funny though, we're gonna go ahead and go through the top 10. But what is actually hilarious? Guess what's number 10? Actually, one that Carol already named. You Will Know by Black Men United. Number 9, we have My Way, Frank Sinatra. Number 8, YMCA by the Village People.
Young Man.
Heck
Hey,
no.
hey, it's technically Young Man.
That's interesting. Number 7, Freebird by good old Leonard Skinner. Number 6, Man in Black by Johnny Cash. Number 5, Manish Boy, I'm a Man, Bo Diddley, Muddy Waters. Eye of the Tiger. That's interesting. That's an interesting thought on there. I like that one. I like that one. I like
Definitely
that.
an anthem.
Yeah, like I kind of like that. Okay. You got Another Thing Coming, Judas Priest. I'm sure I've heard that, but it's definitely not. I don't know. The Boys Are Back in Town, Thin Lizzy. And We Are the Champions by Queen. So as you see, there were one melanated entry on there.
Yeah, but those aren't even like,
They weren't bad songs. They weren't bad.
songs. They're all like
They're
all
not
anthems.
bad
That's just
songs,
strong
but-
anthems, not anthems like for a man. Anyone that could be anyone's Eye of a Tiger. Or anybody could be a champion. So it's not like
All right, so
formation for girls.
I got one more list, and then we gonna move on. This one is actually
Not bad.
a little bit more recent.
Where's it from?
It's manofmany.com. I'll just go through the top 10. It's actually a top 25, but number 10, Mississippi Goddamn by Nina Simone. Number 9, and I don't know that I've ever heard this song, but it's Black Man by Stevie Wonder. May have to check that out. Number 8 is This Is America, Childish Gambino. Number 7 is a song called Took the Children Away by Archie Roach. Don't ask me. I don't know.
I say who's Archie Roach? Do we know any other Archie Roach songs?
I don't know whoever's next.
Not to my knowledge.
All right.
This list is terrible. Number 6 is Baltimore by Prince featuring Aaron Allen Kane.
I haven't even heard, and I've heard a plethora of Prince, and Baltimore's not been on one playlist.
Right?
Number 5 is Hell You Talking About by Janelle Monáe and Wonderland Records.
Oh, it's her new album. That's her new album. Okay.
Number 4 is Freedom by Beyonce featuring Kendrick Lamar. Number 3 is F the Police by NWA.
Hardcore male anthem.
Number 2 is Fight the Power by Public Enemy.
I was going to say that had to be next.
And number 1 is A Change Is Gonna Come, Sam Cooke.
Who published this list?
Man, listen, I don't know who these people are, man. Manofmany.com.
That is, I guess,
They made it. I guess they made it 25 powerful black anthems you need to listen to right now.
Oh, okay. That is not. Yeah, that is
makes
not.
more sense.
Yeah, so
I'm very curious. Well, it's a.
I do
That
want to hear
might
this
be-
Stevie Wonder Black Man song though.
I just pulled it
Shoot,
up.
I want to put Prince Baltimore on the list too.
Right?
And what I'm talking about? What was it? What I'm talking about? What was that joint? Archie? Somebody? What you talking
No,
about?
no. What I'm talking about was the that was the Janelle Monáe song.
Oh, excuse me.
And talking about is just the way I said it. That's how it's spelled.
Talking about.
Talking about. Yep.
I love it. I love it.
I guess could we do Jadina's Hell to the Chief? Maybe. It didn't make anthem status, but the song was about uplifting.
Yeah.
But
That's what I was gonna say too. Though is what is the criteria and then B, can a man anthem be sung by a woman?
No, I don't think so.
Because I'm trying to think of any woman anthems that are sung by men.
Well, most of the ones that are sung by men for women are more about loving you, but not. It wouldn't be anthem
No,
status. It wouldn't be like I'm gonna go to the stadium and they're gonna blast it out big time.
right.
Except the James Brown, that's about the only one they could play. But
Yeah,
even
this is
they,
sad. This is
but
just sad.
yeah.
I'm sorry, listeners, if y'all are out there bored, but really, I mean, if
Most of them are probably thinking like, "Oh man, it's gotta be
I don't
women.
think it's
Gotta be
sad
something."
because again, I don't think we think in those terms. I feel like it isn't like there aren't songs that celebrate males and you know what I mean and celebrate us and bring us praise. But I just think that again, I think it goes back to what are the criteria of what we're dubbing an anthem because I just don't feel like us as males think in that same spirit as females do in what they want an anthem like what an anthem is for them and what you know what I mean what they use it for like I just don't feel like we as males like think in that same spirit you know what I mean where it's like all of us want to get together and again like that's when I think of a female anthem like that's the vibe I get on like yo a bunch of girls want to get together and you know have the little girl power and they're gonna do a little
Yeah.
Beyonce dance or something you know what I mean where it's just like I just don't see us in that spirit not that it's anything wrong with it, but it's just like our again I feel like we go back to themes where it's
I
like
just
we're
feel like it
think
just never happened.
I think it's because of
Tupac
that we
hasn't
don't
had
think in
one
that sense
anthem.
we
Tupac
don't
hasn't
think
had
in that
that again.
sense.
Tupac, what?
Tupac. But again, it's not gonna be the group huddle up. It's gonna be more the uplifting.
What song does Tupac have?
When he had to have one either the first album
You
or
know, Art
two,
just
and
likes to throw stuff
No,
out there and
no,
hope
Tupac
that
was not
like
always
it's got to
about
be.
bashing.
he has
Tupac was,
he has keep your head up, and that's for women.
yeah, no, but then there's changes.
That isn't really
That's like some like
male.
that's for
That's
like
like life
Brennan
upliftment.
got a
Just
baby was for girls. Um, I get around. I don't know.
Change the topics.
all right. Listen, for the listeners out there, if anybody has a positive black male anthem, please put that out there for us. Um,
a
see,
positive any male anthem.
see you at the
Hey,
crossroads.
throw any of them
Um,
out there.
yeah, if you have one, please put it in the comments or send it to us.
Free bird.
Do something with it, please. Put it on the iTunes comments, something. We need something, and we're gonna play a little bit of it next week.
3 seconds.
Like
Exactly. It's gonna
5
be.
seconds. That's it.
We'll
Yeah.
actually we'll all hum a piece of
Right.
it.
Right.
A selection of
Well,
it.
better yet, if there's somebody out there that's a musician, write a song.
Hey, exactly. You wanna?
Write a song. It could be our theme song. We'd love to have it.
Hey, I'll tell you what. If I'll create a male anthem, we will make it the 13th floor intro. How
Yep.
about that, Jack?
Yep.
Believe that.
Real talk. Real talk. All right, fellas, I want to talk about something else that I think we all go through. So, all of us, yeah, all of us at this point have some sort of 9 to 5. And it's really interesting how you have a 9 to 5 and you're working and they create these goals and these things that you need to do to get promoted and these things that you need to grow and develop. But at the end of the day, I don't know about you guys, but I still find myself being limited as far as what I can actually do and push and accomplish working in my 9 to 5. Is that something that you all feel like?
On a daily basis, yes, sir.
I think you're on mute.
Sorry, I had an attack by both of them came in today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, and I heard this from a hopefully, if you're listening, a new mentor that no one's going to do for you, and no one's going to promote you. You have to go out there and have people see that you're promotable, and it's not just about hard work. It's about being in places you should be, and where the conversations are happening.
Right.
Which is not something we're taught. We're taught to work hard, put our head down, get the results, do what you gotta do, go above and beyond, work past 5 o'clock, work until 9 o'clock, do what you gotta do. But nowhere did it ever say make sure you're on the 6th floor or the 13th floor to understand when people are talking about general conversations. When the promotions, when they ready to open a new job up or a new position, before they post it, they already have an idea who they want and a mindset for it. And it's probably the people that was on that floor during general conversations than it is the people who are actually going to apply for it and go through an interviewing process. And that stuck to me pretty hard. That was crazy. That never thought about it in that mindset. That being in the room is just more important than being outside and giving results.
But you know what? I don't even know if it's being in the room. I think it's the people that obnoxiously promote themselves. At least they seem obnoxious to me. That are constantly yapping at the mouth and talking, and you know, it could be something as, oh, did you see how hard it rained today?
Right.
And it's like, are you serious? Like, that's something that you really said out your mouth, but they're remembered.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
I
also
mean-
the idea stealers too. People that go through and just get ideas from everyone else and then present it themselves like it's theirs. Those people tend to get jumped up, but you see well later on you see that they have no value because they have nothing else to steal. But that getting them there is what they grab from just stepping people's necks. It's crazy, but it works.
We call that failing forward, and it is one of the keys to corporate America currently, and the reason why you have so many businesses that wind up being in these weird stagnant spin cycles because they have all of this upper management who has no clue really how things work and are making all of these crazy assumptions because they really never knew or understood what really goes on in the trenches. And it's, you know, it plagues a lot of companies all the time because of that exact thing where people are hiring because of schmoozing and because oh well, he was the person I remembered and was first of mine. All right, whatever, he went ahead and asked for it, forget it, whatever, we'll go ahead and give it to him. And really they have no true qualifications besides that they asked for it, and we're just in the place. But ultimately I think it's always people don't know and understand it. It's no different than high school and college, man. Like like getting into corporate America and to really like a real business field, you are gonna have that same issues that you had, you know, facing in high school and in college. You know, there are cliques. You have to learn how to network and associate better. Understanding who's the right person to talk to about the right things. Not getting caught up with the wrong chatty Cathy too early. You know, it's all of those things that can either be detrimental or huge helps if you find the right person who can you know, kind of show you the shortcuts, give you the real lay of the land, versus if you get in there and you wind up befriending the office jerk and you don't realize they're the office jerk, and then all of a sudden you realize you're being outcasted, but it's just you're guilty by association because like, well, we don't like to hang out with Frank, he's weird. You
And
know what I mean?
that will stick with you. Whatever the negative connotation will stick with you for a long time, depending on who is at leadership. I remember a time when we would have reviews for people, and leaders had not seen this person for years, but they still remember. Oh yeah, no, that GM or that so so. Yeah, no, they can't be promoted because they're not friendly with this, or they're not, you know, they don't follow through. And that was 10 years ago, and this person has grown, but that
It doesn't matter.
and no one tells that person this is the problem.
Yep, that's what's
So
crazy.
that room, they think that they're going good, and they always just pigeonhole. They're stuck. In that
Well,
box.
they have no understanding of no, it's this one thing. And the funny thing is 9 times out of 10 they corrected that thing that 9 years ago.
Yep.
But there was no type of tracking to understand that they, you know, did get that piece. That's one thing that's interesting I'm finding now. My new spot is they have a lot of educational pieces and access to that kind of stuff, but I know it's also all involved in being able to track and be kind of, oh well, I see that you did take this module, so you should have been able to do XYZ and be able to, you know what I mean. But at the same time, it is good. It's a double door, but it's good to have, you know, the accessibility to get some understanding, but then knowing that you do have, you know, Big Brother's eyes looking and being able to, you know, hey, Well, I saw it says that you went through this, so you should know X, Y, Z, and you should know not to do this.
Well, so hold on. So I want to let BJ jump in real quick, and then I want to narrow this down a little bit. Like we went a little broad. Now I want to bring it down a little narrower. But go ahead.
So and I think all that goes back to you can be the hardest worker or bring the best ideas to the table, as Art was saying though, and be out on the bottom floor, be the worker. But if whoever's over you is not a mouthpiece for you, or they talk about whether something happened, if that in that situation Art just mentioned, like if it's 10 years later and nobody's speaking up for this person, shame on their director or their supervisor who's there, because now that's your duty. And again, I think back a lot of stuff I learned from principles. I learned a lot of stuff to do and a lot of stuff not to do, right? By some of the leadership I had, but I had some great leaders as well in the school and in the school systems. But when you look at it, the most effective people were the ones who understood what the individual goals were of their subordinates, and then promoted them to make sure that they had a pathway to get to the next step. They may not be the gatekeeper to get there, but they sure enough put a word in for that person. They sure enough told you, like, look, if that's what you want to do, you need to talk to this person, or you need to expand out of just doing this and go to more of this leadership role or do more technical things. This is how you build yourself up. This is how you build your resume. And oh, by the way, I'm going to go to bat for you here. You don't know I'm setting you up for this, but just trust me what I'm doing. And if you find yourself in an organization or a situation where that's not happening, that's where frustration comes. And again, prime example, that's where I'm at right now. When you don't have anybody who's pushing for you, supporting you, or backing you up for the things you've been doing for years, and all of a sudden it's changes in leadership and things like that across the board. But when you do that, that's when people fall behind and like not motivated to do anything anymore.
Isn't it crazy? Before you go, okay, it's crazy that actually I'm feeling very similar things, that you had somebody backing you, you were doing the right thing, you were going through the path, you're going, and then all of a sudden the people who were doing that have vacated. And the people who come in now they know of what you do, but they don't know you. So they have their own crew, but they're moving the right way up. And
hearing history has nothing to do with living it. And so that's always the biggest thing. There's nothing that can that is stronger than people who actually experience and know who you are, like, have seen you work through situations at work, have seen and really know, like, the little crazy stuff that you've been able to do, as opposed to just the paper. Yeah, he's been here, 10 years and yeah, he's moved up from everything. Like, unless they really know, you can never truly be able to carry that impact through all of that management. But that's why I always advocate, like, you have to push to get your own, because that it is designed that way. It is designed that way to ensure that you are not going to be able to, you know what I mean? You have to either move on to something else and carry that, do the 5-10 year game where it's like, every 5 years I just bounce to a new company because it is what it is, or it's just you're dealing with that issue because management. Go ahead.
So here's where I want to go. So my issue with the line that we're on right now is that as a people, we wait to show who we really are when we're about to quit.
Yes.
Or when we have another job lined up. And the problem is that we wait too long before we look to move, right? So we may get in and we may have that one person that we talked about that advocates for us. And most of the time, the commonality is that person ends up moving along. They leave the company. They don't even go to a different department or a different state or relocate. They leave the company. And to me, that's the red flag that we always miss. We seem to look at this person and feel like they're reflecting the culture of the company, but no, they are not an anomaly to the culture, right? And that's why they were looking out for us, and then they leave. And we sit there thinking, oh, okay, well, they were doing it, so yeah, I can probably get to that spot and blah, 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 blah. But no, that's not the case. They were something different to what the culture actually is. And if we spend time earlier in our careers, if that's what we're going to do, if somebody comes and educates us and says, hey, no, don't sit around here for 3, 4, 5 years thinking that the thing is going to be different. Go out there and find the company that you are actually a cultural fit for and that will treat you right. And the culture is there to enrich what you have and develop who you are, right? Don't sit here trying to wait and figure out and, oh, I got to go behind this back door over here and knock 3 times to talk to this person for them to give me the secret blueprint. No, you shouldn't have to work that hard. Go find someplace else where the environment is set for what you really want to do.
Well, it's we aren't again, we've discussed this on the show. We are designed and we're built for you should be happy you have any job. And so don't you dare, you know what I mean, look and be sourcing for anything else until you've pretty much, exhausted the opportunity that's there when in reality we should be consistently looking in sort pretty much we should always be validating our own worth, you know what I mean, and it's something that we don't do enough, period. But in the process, for instance, in me interviewing for the new position I just got, I literally probably only spent a total of 25 to 30 minutes talking to these people. And when I later on, and this is all my interviews combined, later on when I went and did research on Glassdoor, I'm making at least 6 grand above what Glassdoor says is the top of their salary cap right now. And it's only validation to me of understand, damn, all my experience and everything I've done actually does have weight in me living through it and it being my own. I always take it for granted. But it was amazing to see the validation of like, oh, wait a minute, like, yeah, no, man, what you've done does mean something. I think that us as a people, period, we always get caught in the thankfulness of just having a position and not understanding like, no, they didn't, like, you deserve this position. It was for you already, that you're not don't need to be in such a hat in hand feeling. Like, you have the right to, every 3 to 5 years minimum you should be looking and kind of seeing what's out there and putting yourself out there and getting to know the understanding of what people say about what you have to offer.
So it's funny, like the whole thing is set up, it just in a very interesting way, right? So Glassdoor, the people that get on Glassdoor
are leaving, right? They're leaving.
They're not the happy people. Right? They don't get on Glassdoor because they're happy where they're at, right? The happy people that are like, oh, this is the best thing ever, they're not looking for the door, right? They're happy. They're not getting on there. And the crazy thing about Glassdoor, right? Like, if you really want to get into like, the reviews and everything on Glassdoor, you got to drop info about where you are currently.
Oh yeah.
Right, to really get access to it.
Yeah.
Which I've always thought is funny, but taking it a step further, what does it take to change this? How do we go from we're sitting there, in most cases we're not getting paid our value, but we're adding a whole lot of value to somebody else? How do we break out of that? Because I watch these other folks and they don't worry about the fact that they got a car note or that they got a mortgage. Like, they'll file bankruptcy in a heartbeat and start all over and let's run it again.
It won't bat an eye. Like, it'll be whatever. Meanwhile, we sit here and feel like if we have to file bankruptcy, like, we might as well like kill our children and like reset everything. Like, it's
That's conditioning.
yeah, but that's
to be there, because we, as I'll say, as males, but especially as black males, if again, I'm thinking from the family perspective, just think even just from dating and being provider, like, if you can't do that, or everybody's talking now like, okay, so in the dating, what's your credit score, things like that. So is what you bring to the table, it's a status thing, but it's also your future is kind of being determined by that, right? By those in your immediate circle. So it's being validated. Again, the jobs that parents push you towards, the lack of motivation to go out and seek anything else. Those type of things are how we're evaluated. And again, to be successful as a black male, what does that really mean? Well, success has many different definitions, but a lot of it is how much you make, how bring to the table, and what you're able to do. In a lot of instances, what you're able to flaunt, and that's where we get other people aren't built that way. They're not taught that way. They don't see that on a regular basis.
Listen, go back to where we started, right? What are the songs that big us up, that validate us, right? The songs are where they talk about the positive image of a black male. Oh, he got a job, he drive a nice car, and he wear nice clothes, and he don't live with his mama.
Yep. Yeah.
Tell me one song about a white male that you heard that was the criteria.
Crickets.
Right. So when you look at it now, those are the things in our head. Oh man, if I'm gonna be a positive image of a black male, I can't lose this job. I can't be out here struggling because then I'm just not a good black male. And it's almost
that's a stigma that we
Wow.
take to heart too. So let somebody tell you ain't shit as a black male, and that's how it comes out most of the time, right?
Mhm.
That cuts deep. I don't care how much any of us say
Yeah.
from the right person. That cuts deep.
Oh,
Even if
absolutely.
you know you ain't shit at the time.
If you go out there, if I would have came to you guys and said, name 3 songs that degrade the black male. Now, don't get me wrong. Look, ladies, don't come for us because I already know what y'all saying. How many songs are out there they talking about be, ho, this, that, the other.
Mhm.
I get it. But I think there are songs to counter that. And we don't have that at all.
That's
Man.
fair statement. Yeah.
Wow.
So now you get into, not only are you struggling to project your identity, because look, there are so many things about us that are valuable that get conveniently activated or allowed in the workplace, right? So we're being held back there or kind of suppressed, let's call it. But then on the other side of it, we got something pushing us the other direction of, no, you need to deal with this because you need to provide and you need to be a positive image, and y'all ain't been doing nothing.
That's what I did when I started losing my hair.
I think you are right, and I I don't want to diverge at all because I think you're on the okay path, and I'm just trying to think of how we can fix this, because your original question was what can we do now, and I think for any listener listening, they're trying to also figure out what can they do. And just from my recent experience, just from what I learned recently, you got to reach out. You can't be afraid to reach out. I personally thought, oh well, I'll do this or I'll do that. I'm not going to do anything crazy because why would I do that? Or why am I going to push the bar? But no, I had to go up and say, I need to know what's going on. I need some support. I need some help. Who can I speak to? And that led to many different conversations. And yeah, people are advocating for you, and that's what you're being told. But I didn't see it. And a mark that happened was a promotion that I thought I was surprised by. And then the worst thing could be is be surprised by a promotion. Very happy for the individual that was promoted. Thing was great. But I thought like there was not even an opportunity for me to even interview, even though I wouldn't take it because it's just not in the region I need to go in. But that experience, say, hey, this is what you need to work on, this is what's missing, I felt was stolen. And in order for me to get that back, get my own motivation back, I had to go out there and say, I'm not going to just sit here and let it happen. So you said earlier that we tend to do our best when we are almost out the window. It's also a mindset where you feel like you do your best and you get S on, or you get pushed aside and realize that, oh, I'm being overlooked. Now, great. Well, either I'm going to ABC, go out there and do something different, or I'm going to see what's happening here and move up this chain, but something's going to happen. And I'm giving myself this time frame. And I think that's the hardest thing for us to do, is to say, by this time frame, I am done or I'm up. And when you can say it to yourself, that's when you know you move forward with it. But you have to put yourself in a position where you're back in control again. If you're not in control, then you're just kind of going through the motion. And I personally struggle with, well, do I just stay where I am? Do I just stick status quo? I'm happy. My wife is doing big things. She probably has more potential just in her role as she does what she does to bring in a much bigger. I can maintain here and keep our family good and everything be able to do things. Or do I say to myself, no, I can move up and hire someone to come in and watch the boys while I'm working doing so. So you have to look at yourself and see what it is. I think that was the hardest thing I had to look at and see because that took some time. Like I really just sit down and think and had to sit by myself and sleep. And you guys know I get inward and I come back out. I'm at the out stage now where I'm like, well, listen, you know what I do, you know what I can do, and I bring massive value. And I have people throughout all the country that show my value. You may not know it here, miss or sir, but everybody else outside knows that. And the minute I walk out that door, if I do, you'll see what you let walk away.
Mm-hmm. Right. Man, I think that's the aggravating part is that we hold on to comfortable once we get there because we're not used to being comfortable.
Right.
Right. Until we get to this point, it's almost like, look, we struggle for everything that we got. And then, man, I got here, I'm comfortable. Why disrupt that? But there's so much more probably past that comfortable part.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And we're just there. And like even for you, like you just said, oh, my wife is capable of so much more and blah, blah, blah. And I can just be here and just, well, how much more are you capable of?
Right. Exactly.
Right. And then why do we even get into that point where we start to measure ourselves like, well, man,
exactly. Why does that have to be the measurement? Why isn't it just like, again, it you should always have the upper hand. And that's the thing is like, we don't validate ourselves enough, period. We don't understand our value enough. We don't realize like, yo, that meeting, there's absolutely, you shouldn't even like, because at the end of the day, they don't care about that conversation. And that's the thing is like, they never do. It doesn't matter how much you put into a once they're there and they're over you, it doesn't matter. They're over you. It doesn't matter what you've done. They don't care. You can come and say that great speech and have 300 other people advocating for you, and they're still just like, whatever, you're under me. It doesn't matter. And so it's like, yo, we should always move in that spirit of like, yo, you should immediately be looking at other positions and other places because I guarantee you'll make damn near double the money right now doing the same thing that you do somewhere else, just because somewhere else will know and understand that value more externally than they do internally, because you're taken for granted after 2 to 3 years, no matter where you're at, unless you own it.
That's the factor right there. You are
period
taken for granted.
That's what it is. And especially as a minority male who can navigate the system, you are 100% taken for granted. That it is like once you get into like they know and have that comfort with you, you are taken for granted, and they are using you because 100% you are working. You had to work so much harder just to gain that comfort. Yep. That your knowledge base and what you know and what you can do is so far past like people who are in positions 2 to 3 levels above you, just because of what you've had to do, experience, and who you've had to schmooze with, and get by with that. It creates a whole different flow. But because most of the time those people in those upper levels are not on the same plane of they're most of the time they're not minorities. You know what I mean? That where they don't have that same understanding of where you come from, how you've done it, that it still will never resonate. And again, it just leads back to they don't care. It doesn't matter how long you've been there and that you've got other advocates in the office, because it's still just like, it doesn't matter. My job here is for numbers of this, and I need to get more of these numbers, and this is what I'm going to do.
And that's the frustrating part too. But when you're in those scenarios and you realize that lack of diversity, lack of understanding of what you put in, what you bring to the table, but then in the midst of all that, everything that's going on in the world, you're still like the the token. Like, oh, that doesn't bother you. That stuff doesn't affect you. How dare you bring that stuff up? Like, nah, dude, chill. Like, you have no idea just because you're from your privileged stance. You don't determine that, or because I quote unquote have arrived in your opinion, which I'm still climbing. You may think this is he's maxed out. We've got the best. Like, nah, dude, I'm still climbing. And I'm still trying to pave way for other people to come. But when you don't understand that, and it goes back to the whole diversity and inclusion conversation in a company as a whole. I know I don't want to go down a rabbit hole either, but when you get there with those people at that higher level, they just see you as the one who made it or the one who that doesn't apply to. So how dare you bring these things up about the workplace or tell us how we're doing something or we're not doing something?
Yep, you're the exception, not the rule.
Add later stuff.
Listen, that's a whole nother conversation. I had to let them know. I was like, hey, look, the problem is when we say diversity and inclusion, y'all just think of Black people.
Yeah.
And diversity and inclusion is so much bigger than just Black people. Like, it's not just about people. It's about ideology. It's about thought. It's about backgrounds. It's about so much more than just Black people. But that's what you immediately jump to because that's what you're guilty of.
That's what we're as an entity is guilty of.
Yeah.
Right.
It may be individual, but as an entity is definitely what they're guilty
of. Yeah, man. Wow. You got me riled up now. And I was watching BJ. BJ was low key, like he was getting angry. Like I watched him like he was sitting back.
Yo, I think I'm going to I want to reach out to someone who I know is in HR. I'm gonna reach out to her and see if we can get her on the call for next week. Because I think it'd be great to have somebody talk about this from a outside looking in perspective, and what we can do. She run multiple large companies and now does her own thing and coaches. So I think it'd be kind of cool to bring her on to see. I'll talk to her and see maybe 2 or 3 weeks from here. So if you listen to this, maybe 2 week drop from now, 3 week. But I want to eventually. I promise our listeners, I'll get her on here.
Well, remember, so we had Caitlin on here.
Yeah.
Remember, she was talking about HR.
Yeah.
And things from her perspective and things that she sees. And, you know, it's just funny, man. It's like, I feel like somebody uses our own people against us that they know are comfortable and they've been there for years. And they come talk to us to be like, hey, man, you're doing good, man. You know, just hang in there. Man, how long you been hanging in here? in this same position? Like, don't listen. You know what I think got me on this? Now that I think about it, and so we came up with a new way that we're gonna do training. We're gonna use podcasts, right? And they're releasing these podcasts. I get a text message. Hey man, did you hear that podcast? And I'm like, nah, man, these people need your help real bad. And I was just like, I bet they do. And you know what?
But don't give up your talents without getting paid.
Period.
Right.
I was about to say, I bet they do. And I bet you that the number that I'm gonna write down on a piece of paper for them to get that bad help that they need, it's gonna put a bad taste in their mouth.
Yep.
I'm finding too. Like that's again, we're taught to do your best to strive. But again, you give 150%, forget 110. Like you go through because you have to prove yourself, right?
Yes.
But then you sit back and look like we talk about go back to what you get, your salary and things like that. But people don't appreciate that. So, but then at that same time, you've already shown what stuff you can do. So if you pull back, it's like now you're slacking.
But no, it's not even about slacking. It's about the feeling that you get when you say, you know what, man, let me just do 100% for a couple days. Now I feel like, oh man, I'm about to get fired.
Yep.
Preach.
Yep.
And back up a little bit.
And you are still doing more than everybody else, and you still are left with that
more.
feeling of just like, dag, I don't feel like they got to be on me on something. Like I don't know if man, let me go ahead. And it's weird, but it is built that direct way.
That's
Look,
that
let me
ain't
tell
nothing
y'all
but
something
truth
funny,
right
man.
there.
And we gonna move on from this. Um, so I did my annual performance review, and my boss delivers it, and he's not the one that wrote it. Somebody else wrote it, and like he listed all this stuff I did, and he was like, "Yep." So overall, you've been rated successful, right? He was like, "What are your thoughts about that?" I said, "Man, that's a whole lot that I did just to be rated successful."
Mhm.
He was like, "Yeah, I was thinking the same thing." And now I'm just sitting there looking at him like,
So
"All
what we
right,
gonna do about
So
this?
what are we
Right.
doing?
How you
Exactly.
gonna fix this?
right, yeah, how you gonna fix it? What you gonna do?
What are we
Tell me."
doing?
Anyway, listen, we'll close out the show later. I don't know. Anyway, hey, let's do this. Fresh,
Yes, sir.
what you got for the people, man? The people need something. We need to bring them up.
Um, you know,
I think we're angry right now.
No, we not angry. Listen, we're talking.
I'm angry.
I'm not angry.
yeah, I'm about to say
I'm
I could definitely
motivated.
tell.
If anything, I'm
Carol and
motivated.
BJ have definitely gone to the angry side. There's been some tightening of the brow area every once in a while up in here, but I decided to go a little uncharted this week.
Let's do it.
Uh,
Let's do it. I like that. Uncharted.
um, so my thing is count your blessings, not your losses. This week, well, actually, like 2 weeks ago, my lady decided she was going to take the test, and it was kind of just out of the blue. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take the vice principal test because she had been kind of holding off on doing it, but she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and take the next one that they have available. Just to kind of see where I'm at to kind of gauge, and then I'll go ahead and kind of go from there. Which, ironically, the day that she said it was a Tuesday, the next test was the next day, which was a Wednesday. And she still went ahead and was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Went ahead and did it. It's 3 sections. She passed one section, and then found out the other 2 sections. She was like no more than 15, 20 points away from passing those sections as well. And so it was with no study and XYZ. But she kind of hit me up like, oh, I can't believe, if I would have been within 10 points, I could have, had something that would have, I could have potentially went ahead and, got that one counted too. But I'm like, man, count your blessings, not your losses, right? You did not study for this test. You passed one of the 3 sections, and then you also saw that, wow, without studying, I'm right there on being able to finalize these other 2 sections. Be excited for that instead of being like, oh man, I can't believe that I didn't get those other, those points to go ahead and get that other 2. So apply that to life everywhere, where be more concerned about the good things that you got going on and less focused on the bad things. The more that you can, one of my favorite words, more that you can resonate that positive energy, harness it, and keep it rotating, the more of it that you can get, as opposed to sitting there being focused on what you don't have and keep on not having. So there it is. Count your blessings, not your losses. Gonna be on a t-shirt soon. Where? MyCoolT-shirts.com. Believe that. It's fresh invasion.
Well, I wish I would have known she was doing. I would have told you a long time ago. Tell her go ahead and do that.
Big facts.
That's my advice for anybody out there for that test specifically. But that's another podcast.
There it is.
Faison, what's on the corner?
Yo, I realized that everybody needs someone that they can receive a call from, and it's just conversation, and there's no want or need from it. So many of us have become the data dumpy, where everyone is just coming at you and it's just dumping data at you, but you have no one to just be able to talk to without a need or a want. So find that person. Go out there and see who the person is. That if you're the person that's going to call, make somebody else's day, just to be like, hey, how are you? Good. Didn't want anything. I'm out. That feels so much better than knowing that phone call is going to be something crazy where you're like kind of, oh, well, let's see what happens and what's the need for it. So I challenge everybody out there to figure out who's your data dumper. And it may be you limit that person who's calling you and just giving you all their problems, because those problems weigh you down. Lower those calls. Miss a call here or there. That's okay. It's fine. But find a person you can talk to that's bringing you positive things. We're supposed to talk about you for a couple minutes, and then you guys are done. You got to cut some of that loose, because that weight, those bags, they weigh you down. And you may not see it immediately, but over time, slowly but surely, it weighs you down.
You know what? Normally we don't do this, but BJ, I got a feeling that you got something for the people this week, and I'm gonna put you on the spot because I see it in your forehead.
I mean, it goes. Ian hit it right on the head. Count your blessings, not your losses. We're all experiencing many different things right now. It may be with work, it may be personal relationships, it may be family, whatever's going on in the household. Again, know that if you're moving and you're moving forward, baby steps, large steps, whatever, forward progress is forward progress. Stop using the measure stick of everybody else to determine where you're at. Like, seriously, people posting things about they've started this business or they're doing that. That's great. And everybody, I'm all for promoting everybody needs to move forward. But one of the biggest things I hear a lot of parents right now just feeling frustrated with kids with school. Just know that if you're getting up, they're attending school, they're doing stuff right, keep pushing. Because nobody has this figured out yet. And don't let the school system, the news, whatever tell you that you're failing or you're doing this, whatever, because I hear a lot of that coming down from parents. They feel like they're getting the short end of the stick and they're not doing it. Trust me, it's a pandemic. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Nobody knows what it's going to look like in the upcoming weeks or month. Keep pushing forward. We're going to figure this out on the back end. The whole system, this is a reflection of my opinion. We need to reform this system of thinking about what a school year actually is and talk about the student progress, how they progressing with the material they need to learn. To get a August to June date, that doesn't mean anything. If your kid is struggling right now, it's okay. We're gonna get help. And they deserve to get whatever help is provided by this district and the school. We're gonna push forward and we're gonna make something happen. Like, look, we gotta make some change. Stop making people feel bad for all this other stuff that's going on.
I told y'all he had something. I told y'all. I knew it. I could feel it. So let me
vein on his forehead pulsating like that.
I normally have something regardless. It just don't have to come out. So.
Oh, okay. So you normally have something? No problem.
Noted. No,
Yeah, right.
I should have said that out loud. Now it's recorded.
Noted.
On.
Okay, we got
Check.
you. That's all we needed to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, just want to remind you, please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Share with a friend,
Three.
absolutely.
Share with a family. Share with many people.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
put it on. Listen, when you share it, put it somewhere where people can see it. If you're going to share it, you're on Facebook, drop it there. If you're on Instagram, share with people there. Like the word of mouth, hey, it's a great podcast is great, and we appreciate that. But we need some
Share with access. Share with access.
Thank you. That's what we need you to do. We're here. We want to support. We need you guys' support to keep us going. So please share.
Absolutely.
Check out the website too, thirsty4podcast.com.
Yes, check the website. And to leave you all this week, first of all, I want to talk to my brothers for a second. Brothers, if you're out there, listen, I don't know if this is a fad. I don't know if it's just another money-making plot, but definitely, look, when they talk about Black men and mental health, I think it's a real situation out there that is not getting enough attention. It's definitely something, and that's somebody we really need to get on here. Can we get a mental health professional on here that can speak about it from a Black male perspective? That would be awesome. But
wasn't that kind of purposes?
Yep. Can we definitely look? I think our time to be silent is over. Our time to just suffer in silence is over. If we're going to get to the next level of what we are, we need to speak up. We need to speak our truth. We need to reveal our identity. Going on to the next phase of what we've been talking about. So it's funny. I'm gonna remix this T-shirt right now, Fresh. I'm gonna remix this T-shirt. We talked about count your blessings and not your losses. What I would say is don't focus on the losses. Count your ability to bless. because nobody else is keeping count and nobody else is giving you the value. So count your ability to bless and then go out there and find the platform or the space that will allow you to bless those that need to be blessed with what you have. Don't feel like you have to sit there and settle and be confined by what we think is going to allow us to be comfortable, or what is going to let others say that, yeah, we're doing good. No, nobody can define for you what doing good is for you. You need to go out there and figure out what doing good is for you, and then go out there and go be better than even good. Go find your best. And don't let anybody dictate that to you or suppress you. Go out there, count your ability, and put your abilities out there. That's our show this week from the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. And we will see you all next week.
Amazing.
Brett, you got any
For y'all.